the asshole for forcing my son to wait to marry his then high school girlfriend. I, 50 female, have 2 sons, Dan, male 22, and Sam, male 27. Dan started dating Fran at their junior year. Towards the end of senior year, Dan came to me and said he wanted to marry Fran. At that time, Dan had multiple college options, which he was going to decline to stay in our town and marry Fran. I obviously didn't support this. I wanted my son to go to college and knew he wanted that too, as he'd always been ambitious. I told my son that he had his whole life ahead of him and he could get married later, but didn't need to rush it. I told him that if he went to college and waited, even just a year or 2, I'd pay for his tuition. At the time, I didn't know how serious their relationship was, and they'd been together for a little over a year, and was scared it wouldn't work out and he'd waste his opportunity. My son happily accepted this offer and agreed with me that it would be best to wait. This year, my son graduated college, but maintained a long-distance relationship with Fran, and they announced their engagement a couple months ago. We were all ecstatic about it. Sometime between then and now, my son told Fran that I was the reason he waited until now to propose. I wasn't aware until Christmas when, during dinner, Fran said she wanted to say something. She began saying I paid my son to not marry her and actively tried to ruin their relationship. She then said she was blessed that, quote, evil hadn't won and couldn't wait to have a long and happy marriage. Everyone was silent and didn't really know what to say. My son approached me later to apologize and said she had twisted his words, but it's been constantly weighing on my mind as friends and family present all have different opinions.
I think this is the perfect one for us.
Lord.
Because there's 2 things that I kind of want to talk about. The first thing is Matt and I started dating when we were...
Junior, same time span.
16?
We started
17?
hanging out
somewhere around
briefly in end of
we were in high school.
sophomore year.
We went to 2
junior year.
different high schools.
Yep.
That's when we started dating. We were young, and we kind of dated mostly on, but a little off throughout our 20s. And in our early 20s, I really wanted to get married. And now looking back, and we didn't get married until we were 29. Matt had gone through school. I had gone through school at that time. I was still biting at the bit to get married by that time. It's like a decade later? Was it, what? A decade?
11
Roughly.
years?
Yeah, something like that. So,
Roughly.
It was quite a long time. But looking back, we both say if we had gotten married when I originally wanted to get married in my young 20s, we would for sure be divorced.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
100%.
We just both weren't ready when we were so young. So for us, that was our situation. I know that that's not everybody's situation. And people get married young and they do great. And they do just fine. And that's wonderful for them. But for us, for sure. And especially it seemed like marriage, it was marriage or college. He was putting that on okay, it's this or that.
Definitely.
So as a parent, I would for sure be a little concerned about that. Are you sacrificing your own personal ambitions?
100%. 18 is so young.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Matt?
Yeah, we had a lot of growing up to do. One of us did.
One of us.
I'm not going to say who, but
I did
we
a
all
little
know.
bit too.
We all know. I don't know. So he's 22 and she's a junior. So let's just say that puts her at
He's
16, 17.
He's 22 now. When they met and were dating initially, it was during their junior year.
They were both in their junior year.
Both in their junior year. So they're the same age.
They're like us, 5 days apart.
Yeah, literally. It's the same scenario.
All right, that makes sense. I guess as a parent being where, what I've learned about myself, about relationships, what I've seen, I would advise my kids, hey, just wait. There's no rush. You guys can be together. If you guys make it, great. But there is a lot of growing up and a lot of life changes that happen from the age of not just 18, but I think from you're 20 to 25,
Yes.
like, okay, throughout that period, you turn 21, you're introducing probably a lot more alcohol into your life and access to bars and freedom that you didn't have before. And then you're going out, you're partying, you're doing whatever. As you then graduate college, 21, 22, right? You're getting first jobs. There's just a lot of
You're maturing.
pressures. And then, okay, are you guys living together? Are you renting together? Are you going to buy a house? You're going to get married. Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? And I don't know if this story is recent. I don't know.
2 days ago.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are getting a house together at that age, unless you've inherited some money. Your family's
this
very well
economy.
off. Like,
True.
there's a lot of things that go along with that as you grow up, and I think that I personally didn't grow up until I was like
29.
28.
Yeah.
Maybe 29. I don't know.
No, I like to say that I am a big advocate for right person, right place, right time. Mm-hmm. All of those things have to be right.
I know, and I would agree. I heard something recently because I've went through this with a past boyfriend of mine, and I was dating this guy, and his older brother was married to this girl. And when we broke up, I was like really devastated. And she talked to me, and she was like, "You know what? Timing is everything. If I would have met so and so's brother at a different time, we wouldn't be together." Blah blah blah. Well, now they're divorced, and it's interesting. But I saw something after this, more recently, where someone was like, if you think it's the right person and the wrong time, it's not the right person, because the universe wouldn't do that to you. The universe isn't going to give you the right person at the wrong time. So you just think it's the right person, but it's not. The right person will come along at the right time. And that person that you thought was the right one, this is a mental gymnastics right now. I'm sorry, guys. But when it's right, it'll be right. The universe isn't, or God, or whatever you believe in, isn't going to just fuck with you on purpose.
You might.
I don't know.
I don't know. A decade of my timeline shows a lot of fucking around.
You had a lot of growing up to do. It's not my fault. Let's talk about Fran. Fuck.
Yeah.
What a bitch at the fucking table
Yeah, that's some fucking crazy shit.
in front of the family. Man, you now Dan has got to go rethink his marriage to this girl.
Yeah.
Outs the mother-in-law to
Maybe?
be at the table.
You're not creating friends, Fran. That's for sure.
Fran has got some balls.
Do you want to hear the edits first before we discuss?
Hold on
Okay.
1 second, though.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Because the second thing that came to mind was your mom did this exact same thing with one of our friends.
Oh,
Don't you remember?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your mom did this exact same thing, and
God.
they did not end up getting married. It did not work out for them, and he was very happy.
Ben Radio.
Matt, you're not supposed to name names.
Oh, sorry, Ben. He'll be fine.
Okay, so what? My mom was like the miracle worker. She did
Yes.
a good thing.
She did a good thing.
We had a real long talk with Ben, and my mom
Okay.
said, if you wait 2 years before you get married, I will buy you your ring.
Damn.
And
Oh my God.
after that point, it lasted like 3 months or 4 months
Yeah,
or
it
something.
didn't last long after.
And hindsight is always
2020,
2020, right?
yeah.
So Ben at the time was like, oh, that was thank you, Danette. And then a year or two later, he was like, I wish I would have married her because we would have worked through it and we would have been together.
No.
And then now
He's with a wonderful
lady.
woman, and they have a baby on the
They're
way.
gonna have a baby. They're getting
Congrats,
married.
Ben.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Life works in mysterious
see,
ways.
There you go. The universe, right person, right place,
Danette
right time.
1, universe 0.
Ben owes
There
my
you
mom
go.
I
all
know.
this.
He should send her a fruit basket or something.
Jeez.
Okay, now
Are
let's
fruit
hear the
baskets
edit.
still a thing?
Yeah. Edible arrangements. They're
Oh,
bomb.
they're so good.
If anyone wants to send me a birthday present, it's March 4th. So, edit. If my son had married Fran out of high school, he wouldn't have gone to college. My son chose to go to a school so far away. There were closer options, but he liked the school he chose. I will be showing Dan this thread and update if he responds. Fran currently works at her mother's bakery. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom once they get married and was waiting for Dan to come back home.
What a bum.
Not a bum. Hardest job on the planet.
It was a joke.
Okay,
It
thank you. Sorry, I was triggered. I've never been a stay-at-home mom.
It is the hardest job. Anybody that wants to be a but they don't have kids yet. She should at least strive to be something until they do.
Or just find a passion versus I don't know. Some people dream of having kids. I don't have that desire, but
Stirring the pot over here.
yeah,
That's why we have him in the middle.
yeah, Matt's just being dramatic for fun. So update number 2, first one was an edit. This is an update. Dan and Fran have talked and cleared the air around the situation. Fran feels awful about what she said and realized she should have come and talked to me privately. The situation, however, has brought up other issues between the two and their future. As Dan expressed to Fran, he would like to go to law school. Fran wants them to start their life together and thinks it's unfair for Dan to make them wait 4+ years. Dan is currently home, and we will be dealing with this together. Thank you for all the advice. Dan has read this thread and is now feeling unsure about their relationship.
I suggest a long-distance relationship.
Mom for the win.
You went through this.
Yeah, Matt
you
and I
literally went through this exact same thing.
I went to Jacksonville, Florida for school.
From Minnesota?
Yep. And Matt wanted to come with, and I told him, no, you can't, because I want to focus on school. And I know, poor Matt.
It worked out well.
And that forced us to work on our communication. And I think that was one of the most important things. And I just gained a ton of confidence and self-value and worth and esteem and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Because I was forced to move to an unknown area by myself without any family, stand on my own 2 feet, go through school, the hardest schooling that I've ever had to go through, do everything by myself. And so that actually helped our relationship a ton also.
Yeah.
So maybe he can do that as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Fran's it. Fran, I think it's hard because I look at all of my past relationships and I think with each one, even my youngest ones in high school, I'm like, oh, you always talk about marriage and blah, blah, blah. And it's I look back and I'm like, thank God I didn't marry my high school boyfriends or my college boyfriends because fuck, I'd be miserable.
I also
Well,
think
you
you
picked
hit
some
one
losers.
of your, I think you hit your high school boyfriend with a car. I think you drove him over. Pretty sure you hit him with a car. I think
you're being a little dramatic.
No.
Nope. In the parking lot.
I was at the baseball.
He wouldn't move, if I recall.
Yeah, he wouldn't move. He was standing behind my car and wouldn't move. He was trying to be dramatic, and so I didn't run him over with a car. I just literally put it in reverse and took my foot off the brake, and it casually rolled and bumped him.
We'll all believe that's how the story went.
Fuck that.
Well, no one is allowed to trap anybody.
I didn't hit anyone with a car.
Oh,
Slander.
Fran.
That is kind of
Fran's
funny,
done. She's
but you know
gone.
what? If her life goals truly are to be a homemaker and that's what she wants and that's what she wants
That's great. Yeah.
then maybe this partner that you're with is not going to help you achieve your dreams. And so, maybe you should call it and find somebody who has goals that are aligned with yours.
Last point. Why can't he go to law school and she's a stay-at-home mom? They can have kids and she stays at home with the kids and he can go to law school.
Money.
I mean,
show me the money.
Yeah.
Jerry Maguire.
I mean, I'm sure they could make it work.
They could make it work.
But,
I mean, grad school, you get a lot of loans and,
But
all
then
that.
maybe he wants to be more of an involved father than he can. And he knows he's going to
Law
have to
school's
do
only
intensive.
3 years. It's quick.
It's
quick.
He's going to have to study a lot for the bar.
Bar exam sounds like a bitch. I don't know. I just think
I'm not saying it's easy, people.
it sounds
you can do it if you want it.
You definitely can. It sounds to me like Fran might be very comfortable in her small town. He moved away for school and had this big opportunity. He wants to move and go to law school again. And it sounds like Fran is very comfortable in her small town, working at her mom's bakery. She's got her goals of being a stay-at-home mom, which is amazing. It's a tough gig. So maybe they're not a match.
They're not a match.
Top comment on this one. Not the asshole. Your future daughter-in-law showed to the entire family that you were correct and that your son was wise to delay marriage. 43,000 upvotes on that one.
Can you read the next one?
Wisdom.
By, quote, evil, Did Fran mean stopping her from getting pregnant at 18 and raising a baby she's obviously not ready for? OP was correct. Fran was definitely not ready to get married at 18 and probably isn't now. OP's son should rethink marrying her, now or ever. Fran treating her partner's mom like an obstacle to their love story, even though she's just looking out for them. Calling her mother-in-law evil might be the precursor to a very strained, potentially toxic mother-in-law/daughter-in-law relationship.
Maybe.
Nobody has time for that.
Yeah. Also, the next comment literally says, also, it was just an offer that OP willingly took her up on. All she said is, hey, if you wait, I'll pay for 2 years of college.
True.
He still made that decision.
That Dan took the OP up on.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're going to be mad at anyone, your boyfriend didn't, that was his call. He wanted to go to school. And that's not, especially, I think to a point, if she does want to be a stay-at-home mom, you should be pushing him to go to law school or pushing him to succeed because that's your security.
Yeah.
Make that money, baby.
Get that coin.